I am back. I am currently in Xiamen. I am in my quarantine hotel. But before I show you what it's like, let's recap how I got here. It is 4:39 a.m. I'm up bright and early because I'm flying back to China today. I can't believe I've already been here in Australia for a little over a month and a half. The time's absolutely flown. As I've mentioned, I'm up at 4:40 a.m. My flight's actually at 12 p.m. And the reason why I'm going to be getting to the airport 6 hours early is I need to get a PCR test on the day of travel.
And bless them, my parents both woke up to take me to the airport at 5 a.m.
It feels like just yesterday that I arrived back here in Sydney and now I'm on my way back.
That's been wonderful.
Yeah, look, Sydney will always be home, but I feel like now I've got my life in China and I'm excited to get back to it. Love you guys.
Fly safe, okay? Have a wonderful life over there.
Have a good life.
Miss you. Bye.
It's a little awkward run here. I had to cross the road to get my PCR test at a place opposite the terminal.
Don't run her over, Mum. It'd be very bad.
It's sad. Very sad, actually.
So I'm here now to come get my COVID test day of the flight. They have one at the airport here and hopefully I should get my results in like an hour.
There were lots of testing stations and no queue. I received my results bang on 1 hour, and by that stage I was already waiting in a huge queue.
And I thought I got here early. There's probably a line in front of me now. We're not even at the check-in gate yet. We're just beside the check-in gate because it hasn't even opened. So quite a long time before the flight, but there's probably at least like 30 people in front of me. And I'm very, very lucky because actually as of a week ago, they've changed the quarantine policy. And instead of having to quarantine for at least 2 weeks, now quarantine is just 7 days plus 3 days home quarantine. So great news.
Eventually the check-in opened and everyone started nervously preparing the required documents, PCR tests and health codes, and praying we didn't forget a document or anything because this flight was expensive.
A lot of people are probably wondering how much I actually paid for this flight. Most expensive flight of my life. It was over 6,000 Australian dollars for a one-way economy fare. And I remember booking it, I just felt sick. I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I'm spending so much money on a flight. But now I actually feel incredibly lucky to have gotten a flight at all. So basically there are 3 main carriers flying from Australia to China, and 2 of them have been suspended for like 2 months because their flights constantly have more than 5 passengers per flight that are COVID positive. And that means that the flight gets suspended for a period of time. So Xiamen Airlines, which is the one I'm going with, is the only airline running right now. And after the other 2 airlines were suspended, every flight on Xiamen Air is booked out for like months and months and months. So I feel very, very lucky that I was even able to get a ticket, even though it was 6,000. But man, for 6,000, back in the day, you'd get like a round the world business class seat, I feel. Yay, I made it to my gate. I am just waiting to board another 20 or 30 minutes. The lines at security and customs was so long. It was actually coming out of the departure gate where people usually take their photos at Sydney Airport, like jumping up and down. Yeah, the line was huge.
Not long after I got to the gate, it was time to board. Wow, I can't believe I really needed every minute of those 6 hours before the flight.
Everything is done. Now the relaxation begins. I can finally begin to relax. Man, the last month has been I've been like this anxious ball of energy, not sure whether I'd be able to board the flight or not, whether I would get COVID that would prevent me from going back for like 3 months. But here we are, Xiamen. We are going to Xiamen.
Airline staff wore full protective gear the entire flight, and it was a requirement for every passenger to wear an N95 mask.
So I am on my luxurious 6,000 Australian dollar per ticket aircraft. And I guess you're wondering, what does $6,000 get you these days on a one-way economy fare to China? Well, it gets you a bag of snacks, bread roll, croissant, muffin, soy crisps, biscuit, oh, a fruit, a Tim Tam, got some water, some more water, cookie, some muesli bars, Kit Kat, a hongbao. No, it's just a serviette, a wet towel. I thought it was a hongbao. I was like, finally, the 6,000 RMB, it's giving me something back.
But wait, there's more.
It gets you socks, a free pen to fill out this form, and free gloves. How about that? And so far, it's getting me 2 spare seats beside me, and this seat has a bag of treats that I may be able to take with me if no one comes and sits here. No man, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. I think he was the last one to board.
He did end up sitting there, but he was so nice and we had some great chats.
And this is so cool, the person behind me actually recognizes me from my videos. This is Ian.
The flight left right on time and I was officially on my way back to China.
Hello beautiful people, I am here to remind you that I have merch, Bingfen merch to be exact. Comes on a cute mug,
I love Bingfen. We've got a hoodie, we've got a t-shirt. It also comes in blue. If you're interested in getting some Bingfen merch, now is the time because there's only one more week of this being on sale until it's gone forever. You can visit the link in my description below. Cheers. After about 9 hours, we began our descent into Xiamen. When we arrived, we were told to stay seated, and stay seated we did for another 3 hours.
So we landed 3 hours ago and we are still all on the flight. We're all very tired because all of us were up at like 4 a.m. to go get our PCR tests.
By this time, it was after 10 p.m. China time, which is around midnight Australia time.
So we're just waiting to get off this flight and then get all the paperwork and stuff sorted so we can head to our quarantine hotels and spend the next 7 days sleeping.
Not long after, we were finally able to get off. For anyone taking a flight to China anytime soon, try to get a seat at the front of the plane because you'll get through disembarkation, PCR testing, and customs quicker, and you'll get to your quarantine hotel sooner.
Okay, I have to say, once you're off the plane, things move very, very quickly. You go through all the steps, all of the PCR testing, and I'm actually on my bus to go to my quarantine hotel right now. And it has been confirmed that it'll be 7 days of quarantine here in Xiamen and then 3 days of home quarantine, and I'm unsure about how that's going to work, where I do that, whether that's here in Beijing, I don't know. But anyway, for now, I'm on my way to my quarantine hotel. I hope it's nice. Last time I had an amazing place with like a balcony, and for me, as long as it's got air conditioning, a window, I can order takeout and has internet, I'm happy.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi is very important. We're talking about how important Wi-Fi is.
And this is the exciting part, waiting to see what kind of hotel you're gonna get. Passengers have no say in what quarantine hotel they're assigned.
We're very happy because not 5 minutes after we've left the airport, we've pulled up at this beautiful big hotel. It looks really, really nice.
We were herded off the buses into a line to wait for the hotel check-in process.
Wow, expensive. I'm at the check-in counter and per day this is going to be 580 renminbi. Way more expensive than my last hotel, which was 350 per day. This is the cheapest room, but they have no more of this, so this is my only option. Or I could go more expensive, go all the way up to here. But this is what I'm going for, 580 renminbi per day. Looks like it's going to be a really big room. It includes all the things. After paying for everything, it's time to head to my room. All I can say is I hope it is nice because this hotel is definitely on the upper end of things. I actually thought that hotels were capped in quarantine. I thought that at an upper limit of 400 per day. Well, thank goodness it's only 7 days, that's all I can say. Xiamen is hot. I forgot it was gonna be summer. Okay, one more floor. And we have arrived. Okay, made it to my room. Let's see what it looks like. Oh my god, it's massive. Oh, this is freaking huge. I'm gonna be able to do laps in this. Nice big bed. Let's see. Decent. I've got a couch. I'm gonna live like a freaking prince. How's the bathroom? Oh, nice. Oh my gosh, I have a bath. I have a bath. Okay, that is worth the 600 renminbi alone. I wish I brought some bath bombs. So I've got a bath with shower and a shower with another shower. Oh my god. Oh my god. I am so exhausted. I feel so good to get that off. So I am currently on day 4 of quarantine now. I'm having a blast, to be honest. I'm really, really enjoying it. And I think knowing that I'm only in this hotel for 7 days makes all the difference. Whereas last time I came to China to quarantine, I knew it was gonna be at least 21 days in quarantine before I could go outside. So I think mentally it's a lot easier this time around, and I've just been enjoying this little hotel holiday, as I've come to call it. And I've been doing my walks up and down this massive room. I've been editing videos. I've been planning future videos. I'm currently addicted to Zelda. It's becoming quite problematic. I'm playing it for like 4 hours a day. And the food provided here is actually quite decent. I have chosen to stick with the quarantine meals and not get any takeout for 3 main reasons. Firstly, it's a part of the fee that I'm already paying to this hotel, and since my outgoing expenses recently have been significantly higher than average, I'm trying to cut some costs. I'm trying to save some cash. So I'm eating the quarantine meals. Secondly, they're gonna deliver those meals whether I like it or not. So I don't wanna waste food, so I'm gonna eat them. And thirdly, yes, you can get takeout at this hotel, but it takes up to 3 or 4 hours for it to be delivered to your room. So if you order anything that's hot, it's gonna be cold. And if you order anything that's cold, it's gonna be hot. So I'm just sticking with it. And if you're curious, this is what a day of eating hotel quarantine meals looks like.
So let's start with breakfast. It's delivered to this chair outside my room bright and early at 6:30 a.m. every morning. We've got an apple, some milk to go with this weirdly small portion of cornflakes, some chopstick wisdom, And then inside the main chamber, we've got corn, some ham, boiled eggs, and some Chinese style bread. And when I say Chinese style bread, I mean it's sweet. Chinese bread is sweet, there's a lot of sugar added. You can see it's like quite soft. So today's breakfast definitely looks like it's leaning more towards like a Western breakfast. Yesterday it was more Chinese style. We had some balza in here, as well as some eggs, some sweet potato, pickled greens, and mushroom congee. And I think you guys can probably guess which style of breakfast I prefer. It's not bacon, it's processed meat of some kind. I don't think I'm gonna touch that. I'm not the biggest fan of that kind of meat. My favorite part of this breakfast was the corn. Next up, we've got lunch. It's delivered around 12 p.m. We have a soup. Every lunch and dinner comes with a soup, and this one is some variety of chicken soup. Chicken soup, that's really nice. Got a nice variety of dishes here. Oh, this smells and looks really, really good today. So it always comes with like 4 different little mini dishes. So today we've got some variety of vegetable here, egg and tomato stir fry. Looks like what might be either beans or peanuts, I'm not sure. And we actually have some prawns there, which looks great. And of course, a nice big thing of rice. Let's try. Really enjoyed all the dishes in this lunch, especially the fried prawns. Surprisingly fresh and juicy. That's really good. Well, I guess we are in Xiamen. It's right by the ocean, so I love that they're giving me some seafood today. But that wouldn't be the only seafood I received today. A little after 6 p.m, dinner was delivered and one of the dishes was calamari. I also got a couple of veggie dishes and some duck too. Yum! I love my duck, so let's try that first. I actually think that might be salted duck, a Nanjing specialty. It's dark, it's salty. Not as good as you would get it in Nanjing, but it's definitely somewhat of a concept. As for the calamari, fresh, flavorful, and tender. That's really good. This is probably my favorite meal I've had in quarantine. That duck, those veggies are so good, and that calamari is good too. So for the most part, I'm really enjoying the quarantine food, but if there's ever a meal that I'm just not super fussed about, or I just feel like a taste of home, that's when I reach for the snack suitcase. It used to be a lot fuller because I've already eaten quite a few, but it's full of my favorite snacks that I've bought from Australia. Got my favorite chip flavor, salt and vinegar. Got my Vita Wheats for those days where I just want a simple breakfast with some peanut butter. My peanut butter's over there. Gummy bears, miso soup, honey, chocolate, more chocolate, muesli bars, honestly just a little bit of everything, and I would definitely recommend this if you're going into quarantine anytime soon. So the current quarantine policy here in China is 7 days of hotel quarantine plus 3 days of home observation. So ordinarily, after you finish 7 days here, you'd be sent back home to wherever you're from to do your 3 days of home observation. But because my final destination is Beijing, and Beijing is a bit more strict, they have a rule that you can't go into Beijing if you've been in China for less than 10 days. So after 10 days, I can enter Beijing. So that means after I do 7 days here in this quarantine hotel, they're gonna move me to another hotel for the additional 3 days of home observation. And then after that's done, I'm free to go wherever I want, do what I want, go outside. And my plan is I'll stick around in Xiamen for a few extra days, get some food content because there's so many yummy foods I wanna try here. And then excitingly, I will be flying to Changchun where my boyfriend will just be released from quarantine and we will finally see each other after 2.5 years. So exciting things coming. I'm so happy and relieved to be back in China. Thanks guys for watching this video and I'll see you in Xiamen next week. Bye.